Hi guys, Candia here and Cathy. I'm with the Age Journal and Cathy's with Cathy Cuts Paper, and we're doing the Deserted Island Challenge from Nic the Booksmith. As you can see, we're on our deserted island. We're out crafting in nature, and we got crafted on our cruise that was a crafting cruise, so we had stuff to pick through on the beach to make our journals. We have our 4 givens, our paper, our scissors, our glue, our ink and thread. We both chose hardcover books, fabric, a stamp, and ink with our daubers. So we're about to get our crafting on, and we will be back to show you on our channels the books that we have finished. So we'll see you guys later.
Now, Candia from the Age Journal and I were on a craft cruise. As you heard in the opening, we crashed. The good part was a whole bunch of craft supplies washed up on the shore. The other good news is we could see that everyone else on the ship is fine. They're on another island. It's just a little too far for us to swim. Unfortunately, they got all the food and the blankets and pillows, but we got the craft goodies. So I'll show you what I did for my journal on the Deserted Island Challenge by Nic the Booksmith. We had our givens, which were the things that you were allowed to have. It was glue, paper for your pages, this is tea-dyed paper that I did, scissors, and a needle and thread. And I used pearl cotton, purple pearl cotton for my thread. Then you could choose 4 other items. I chose fabric, was this fabric, ink with an applicator, a stamp, and a cover. And for my cover I used a Reader's Digest book. And I chose the Reader's Digest book, this particular one, because I really liked this marbleized inner cover. So I'll show you what I did with the challenge. This is the cover, and you can see I first of all crumpled up the tea-dyed paper a couple different times, flattened it out, and went over it with the applicator and my vintage photo ink. And you can see it better on the back. It actually looks like lemon meringue pie that's been, you know, broiled or had a flame thing. So makes me hungry, and unfortunately the other people got all the food. So let's just go on. I covered my spine with some of the fabric. Behind, well, this little flower I made, it was just folding strips of the tea-dyed paper and then cutting it so it had pointy petals. But it was really, really tall. It was more than an inch tall, just the way I folded it. So I put it down on the table and smashed it with my hand, turned it and smashed it again. So that's the artistic way I did my flower. And then I made little stamens out of my pearl cotton. This is a strip of paper cut in, or folded in a zigzag, and I stitched it, just random stitches, and I cut these little flowers out of my fabric, and these are kind of loose, so it almost looks like they're floating, but they're attached. Now in my book, I did, everything has fabric on it. Every page has fabric, whether it's a tab like that, a tag, something. So I just like, because that looks all, you know, fluffy there. I did a floating spine. Now this was interesting. I'd never done a floating spine before, and Candia from the Age Journal showed me how to do that. And I love it. I will be using it a lot. My first page here, you can see I did a, this is the stamp that I used, this, and then I just colored, or this is a strip of some off-stamping paper, and I'll show you what I did with that later. Then I have this tag. It's just a doubled piece of the tea-dyed paper glued together. Cut out little stamps, put a piece of fabric in a tab, and it also has a pocket on this side with a smaller tag for journaling. On most of the pages, I took my stamp, I inked it, and I stamped it off on another, just a scrap piece of paper to get, so I had less ink. So this is more faint, and that stamp off paper is actually this little colored strip here, and I used it in a couple different places. Here I sewed on a ruffle of fabric. This page is faintly stamped fabric tab, fabric tab. Here's another little little pocket. Put fabric here, and it's hard to see on here, but this particular fabric, maybe the big piece you can see better. This particular fabric, whenever you see what looks like a gold color, it's actually metallic. So it adds a really, really pretty accent. That's what that is. The tag is this, a stamped piece in 2 different fabrics, and I inked the edge. Oh, speaking of inking, I inked the edge of every single page in this. I have 30 sheets of paper. I did 3 signatures of 10 sheets each. It took a long time. I watched more than one complete TV mystery show doing that. I don't know if I will do it again, but then again, I love the way it looks. So, who knows? Here's another piece of just journaling stuff with my fabric tabs on it. Here is another pocket. Has the triangle of fabric, the large tag with a stamped item and more fabric. And yeah, I really like the Asian theme on this. This is a double pocket. It has the piece there and another pocket here. This is what goes in the front pocket. It's a book. It's a little tiny book. I love it. I will be making more little baby mini books. I really had fun with that one. Okay, more journaling pages. It's also a shame that the people on the other island got all the pens. So I'll be using my sewing pin and my ink, and I'll get 1 page done by the time we're rescued. Okay, that's the end of the first signature, and you can see with the floating spine, you see the fabric in between each one. It's wonderful. Okay, here is my next little tucky place, and I did this tag, and this is a flower that I made. The fabric, or the paper here, you can see was part of my stamp off to get ink off, and then I just over inked it all too. So you can see little Asian characters there, the writing, and just random stuff. I liked that. And the center is a wadded up piece of paper. Oh, here's another pocket, a regular tag here that I like what I made. This is the full stamp here that I have. This, the Asian lady, is from the fabric, and then I made a little flower here and did French knots in the center with the pearl cotton. Here's a little teeny envelope that I did. This again, this is what it looked like where I did all my stamping off to get extra ink off the stamp. And I put this in, and this is money. The stamp had money on it, so it's an envelope full of money. Okay, here's the next one. This is my, it has a regular pocket here and a side pocket. And this is supposed to be a paper button, but it looks more like just something I found in the woods and glued on, or in the jungle rather. I did have fun leaving my little tails when I sewed the signature together to the floating spine. The center of each one has that little added thing, which is one reason I chose a colored thread. Here's another strip of fabric that I sewed on. You can see on the back the stitches. And more pages. This will be fun once I finally get to civilization and have a pen. Okay, here's a belly band that I did. Here's the tag. I took the paper and, you know, ruched it and squished it so it's flat, but the paper's ruched. And then the fabric strip, I did lazy daisy stitches going all the way down. And again, there's some of that metallic gold in the center. Here's another one of the fabric strips. I did one of these fabric sewn ruffle strips on each signature, one on each signature. So here's another double pocket with, I like this tag a lot. And again, I inked this flap, and another little book. This is a side pocket that I did here. The crane is beautiful. It's really a beautiful part of the fabric. The circles on this were done using the bottom of my ink, my art glitter glue, the smaller, and it made a really beautiful circle. I may use that again. Made another flower, little from my stamp there, the little Asian script, and down here with, it looks like a sun print with a little bit of metallic there. This piece is because I cut it out for something else and it had to have a home. So it's there. It's just a little decorative piece on there. It really is pretty with the metallic flower. And then we are at the end. So this is the journal that I did for the Deserted Island Challenge that Nic the Booksmith put together. Had a lot of fun. Make sure that you go to the Aged Journal on YouTube to see Candia's version of this. We worked on these together, but they are totally different feel. It's really interesting how that works out. Thank you for viewing. If you have any comments, I'd appreciate it. You have a good day now. Bye-bye.